Welcome to MathGPT. In this lesson, we will place the events of synaptic transmission in the correct order, from earliest to latest. We will also build a visual picture, step by step, so the sequence makes intuitive sense. Here are the events we need to order. Think about the correct sequence before we reveal it. You know the answer? Are you unsure? No idea? Think so? Or do you know it? Now, let's build a visual diagram of a synapse. On the left, we have the presynaptic neuron. On the right, we have the postsynaptic cell. The small gap between them is the synaptic cleft. We'll use this diagram to visualize each step in the correct order. Let's start the sequence. Step 1 is the action potential. The action potential is an electrical signal traveling down the neuron. When it reaches the synaptic knob, it triggers everything else that follows. So the first correct event is action potential reaches the synaptic knob. Step 2. The arrival of the action potential changes the voltage across the presynaptic membrane. That voltage change opens voltage-gated calcium channels. These channels are like tiny doors. When they open, calcium can enter. So the next correct event is voltage-gated calcium channels open. Step 3. Calcium ions move into the synaptic knob through those open channels. This is important because calcium acts like a signal inside the knob. Let's show calcium entering. So the third event is calcium enters the synaptic knob. Step 4. The calcium acts as a trigger. It tells vesicles filled with neurotransmitter to fuse with the membrane. This fusion process is called exocytosis. When that happens, neurotransmitter is released. So the fourth event is calcium triggers exocytosis of vesicles. Step 5. The vesicle releases neurotransmitter molecules into the synaptic cleft. These molecules spread out by diffusion, moving from the presynaptic side toward the postsynaptic membrane. So the fifth event is neurotransmitter diffuses across the synaptic cleft. Step 6. Once the neurotransmitter reaches the postsynaptic membrane, it binds to receptors. These receptors are like locks, and the neurotransmitter is the key. Binding can open ion channels and start a new electrical signal in the next cell. So the final event is neurotransmitter binds to postsynaptic receptors. Great work! Let's recap the correct order slowly and clearly. First, the action potential reaches the synaptic knob. Second, voltage-gated calcium channels open. Third, calcium enters the synaptic knob. Fourth, calcium triggers exocytosis of vesicles. Fifth, neurotransmitter diffuses across the synaptic cleft. And sixth, neurotransmitter binds to postsynaptic receptors. Here is the correct order written out. Final recap. Action potential arrives. Calcium channels open. Calcium enters. Vesicles release neurotransmitter. Neurotransmitter diffuses, and then binds to receptors. This flow of events is the core of synaptic transmission. If you can say those steps in order, you understand the process. Great job, and keep practicing.